While companies, America, and the Supreme Court rush to dissolve and abolish diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, this should show up as a red flag in your face to say, America does not care about making this place, the jobs, or anything in it diverse, equitable, or inclusive to you. And while I say to you, now you're going to hear me talk about you and we a lot in this video, right? And obviously I'm black, right? Straight up, I'm black. But this video doesn't just apply, and I don't want listeners to think this video just applies to black people. It applies to so many minorities. You know what I'm saying? It applies to minorities at this point. But, and again, this is not a hate video. This is not a hate speech or whatever they want to call it. I don't know what they're going to call it. But this ain't that. This is fact. DEI originated in the 1850s, 1860s, around the civil rights movement, which was for, okay? Now DEI includes multiple groups because it's transformed more from just race to sex to gender to preferences, all of that. But understand, this should strike as a red flag to anybody. I see a whole bunch of news, and I see a whole bunch of outrage on them abolishing TikTok. This is January 20th, 2025. The whole world up in arms in TikTok. The whole world. I've seen so many posts about TikTok going away, but I've seen very little posts about DEI going away. And what's so crazy is the same people, the same exact people that is so worried about this TikTok going away will get on that same internet and cry that jobs are being racist, jobs are discriminating, it's not equal in America. Well, guess what? While they was doing away with the diversity, equitable, and inclusion programs and laws, it was no noise. It was zero noise. But now they're getting away with and this is why I just want to talk about stuff that matters. And this should matter to everyone. And it's really a slap in the face, man. And I'm just going to get into it and break it down what it is. Now, what? I like to start off real simple. What is DEI? DEI stands for diversity, equitable, and inclusion, right? Now, DEI is, I usually like to, I'm going to go right back to my Google, because, I like to go on Google with mine. I like to make sure everybody understand what I'm saying. You feel me? I don't like nobody to think, oh, he's just pulling this out. Let me just show you how I do this. Let me see what we got. Hold on. What we doing? Desktop. Mirror monitor. Okay. Boom. What we gonna go? What is DEI? Okay. This how you start off there. What is DEI? DEI is. Hold on. Am I in? Okay, yeah, we just gonna go there. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is a term used to describe the efforts to create environments that are welcome and respectful of people from all backgrounds, right? Okay. Now this includes. Now let me tell you what it includes. This includes. Hold on. Trainings to discuss workplace discrimination practices that help create more inclusive and equitable workplace, regardless of sex, gender, and ethnicity. Right. So what does that mean? This is how a lot of people here like check the boxes or just fill in the numbers. DEI was made and it originated in the 1850s, 1860s during the civil rights movement when black people were saying like, hey, this isn't fair. We aren't getting jobs. We're getting racially profiled against. For jobs, we have no chance. So they created, this is where DEI started from. That's the root of DEI. Now DEI has transformed obviously to include sexual preferences, gay, transgender, different, everything. Include everybody. That's why I say this is not just a black video, but it's the root was black. So I have to start there. And that's who I'm talking to because that's my people. That's me. So that's what it is, right? This includes you getting a job, just even getting a seat at the table or getting a chance to get the job. Yes, some DEI programs make them where they have to have this many Chinese people on board. They have to have this many black people at the job. They have to have this many Irish. They just want to make it diverse. They just want to, even though it can be seen as a just check the box thing. I understand the intent was never there, which was going to go to a further point. DEI was helpful because It gives you a seat. It gives you a chance. It gives you a chance to sit at the table. It gives you a chance to get your foot in the door. Without DEI, meaning you don't even get to check the boxes, meaning they don't even have to try to interview. They don't even have to take applications for you or nothing to meet no quota or meet no number. You have zero chance. That you have zero chance to break in that door. Okay? Now, that's what it is, right? Who does this affect? Like I just told you, I'm gonna let you be the judge of that. Who does it affect? Obviously, it affects all minorities. It affects everyone outside of the. This word's gonna sound deep, and y'all gonna say he being conspiracy theorist and all this. I don't know, but everyone outside of the archetype that America wants to care for. Everyone outside of the archetype that America was made for, that America was built for, right? And we know who it was built for. And we know exactly now. This is my point. If DEI was made in response to black people for the civil rights movement, right? And you aim to do it away, this is where it gets real funny for me, because so you are directly trying to do away with the diverse equity and inclusion for black people. You cannot tell me wrong. And why you cannot tell me wrong? Because they're saying that the reason for doing away with these DEI programs, they're saying they're unfair. They're saying they're reverse racism. They're saying that it's expensive to the companies to provide these trainings and give people a fair shot. That's what they're saying. And I find it very, very, very ironic, and it's a slap in the face, and it's kind of funny. Honestly, it's not funny, but it is. I can't help but laugh when I think about you telling me. Now, this goes for jobs and colleges. They're trying to do away. They don't even want to make the colleges diverse. It's funny when we say it's expensive and it's unfair and it's reverse racism. That's what they're saying. Companies, Supreme Court, everyone want to do away with this. But this was made in response to you being racist and discriminating. So you put DEI as the solution. Now, less than 100 years after you put the solution in, you're now saying, oh, that solution's unfair. And it costs too much. Which is hilarious, considering you enslaved a group of people for 400 years. You then abolished slavery and made those people indentured servants. You made it illegal for those people to own land. You made it illegal. Listen, this is not hate speech. This is not whatever y'all want to call it. These are facts. You made it illegal for white people to sell those people land. You made it illegal for those people to own property. You made it impossible for those people to get land, to start their own farm and grow their own crops and become independent. You made it hard for those people to even become real indentured servants. Because you could just make up what they owe. And then when they break the law or they didn't pay you what they owe, you can then put those people back in slavery and not pay them anything to just make slaves again. You then, after that, you trick the people into thinking, okay, black people, you can now own land. We're going to make the Freedmen's Bureau Bank. They told them the Freedmen's Bureau Bank was risk-free. This is in the 1850s, 1860s. Anything I'm talking, you can pull it up and just research yourself. I don't want to pull it up here because I got a tendency to make these videos very long when I do that. But I just want y'all to do this. Jim Crow era and the Freedmen's Bureau Bank. Google those. They made the Freedmen's Bureau Bank telling them after all that, okay, here's your chance to own land. Put black people, put your money into the Freedmen's Bank. This is zero risk, and this is how you will accrue land. This is zero risk and stable. You made it, you propaganded. You made so much propaganda to the black man to put his money in the bank. You then, once you start the bank, you then remove the black appointees and appoint a white guy named Henry Cook, head of the bank. Henry Cook then takes the bank after whole bunch of money is accrued in the bank. Black people begin to trust it and see it as the way of freedom. You then get Henry Cook to come in and swindle all those people out of their money. When you told them it was safe, when you told them this was the way, when you told them this was how they can do it, they finally get a bank. You then get Henry Cook and swindle all those people out of their money. He swindles the money back. And check anything I'm saying. If I'm lying, I'm flying my feet on the ground. And it's so funny. It's so funny. And people don't even realize. We rather care about. I see so much uproar about TikTok, bro. I see so much uproar about TikTok. And these people do all of this. And then they say, well, it's unfair for us to help y'all. The DEI was the least. The DEI was the least you could do. The DEI was the least you could do. After you done do all that on them. And then, like I said, I didn't even finish. Henry Cook swindled the money. And they had to close the bank. People didn't get none of their money out. He started gambling the money away. And guess what? Guess who was out of money? All those black people that it was targeted to, that is safe and all that. I think they said it was over $75 million back in the day. And that was in 1850 something. So you swindled people out of their money for 400 years and made it not equitable and inclusive for them and got a 400-year head start. And now you want to do away with the laws that gave those people any kind of refuge of or fairness or attempt to look like you cared. And what I want to say is look like you cared, right? Like I just said, okay, so I went over the what, I went over the why, I went over the who and how. Now, well, why besides the fact of me explaining to you why it's hilarious, I want to point out two facts this really points out. And I'm in 11 minutes already. I want to point out two things that stands out about this that really matters to me. 2 points this should make. This matters because I want people to see the power that we have. And I say the power that we have as consumers, as in group economics. And I will explain that further in 1 minute. My second point is to see that these companies / people do not care to help you one bit. They aim to keep their wealth and provide for their people, right? You could argue even back then in 1850, they didn't care to make it equitable. It still wasn't equitable after they passed. 1950, 1960, it still wasn't equitable for black people equal. They just cared about, okay, look, we look like we're doing something. Let's put on the facade, make them happy. That's cool. I will be cool with that, whether you just slapping it away. And let me force you on to what I'm saying, why I say my 2 points of why I want people to understand the power that we have, and 2, these companies don't care about you. All they care about is their money, sticks out because this was funny. Hold on. This is a nice stat. Between 2019 and 2022, DEI roles grew 168%. Between 2019 and 2022. Let me explain to you what happened in 2019 and 2022. 2019 to 2022 was COVID, and it was the people, a lot of people refer to it as the peak in racial tension. That was George Floyd, people stuck in the house. It was a lot of race war talk. It was a lot of, just social issues confronting black people, the police, all of that, right? Hold on. Right? Between that time, DEI roles grew 168%. Why did they grow during that time? Because if you lived through that time, it was a time where it just felt like something had to be done. No bull. It was weird because it felt like something had to be done. And even during that time, to me, it was like, okay, I see all y'all claim y'all pledging and gonna help, but I know for a fact y'all don't really care. And people was calling me a Debbie Downers and nothing makes me happy and all this. Like, no, because I knew it was all a facade, right? All of these companies that they was pledging all this money to now are reneging on that, taking it back and saying it's unfair. They didn't care. They never cared oh, that's so unfortunate George Floyd got killed. Wow, we have been so unfair to this group of people. Wow, let's help them out. No, they cared because at that time, if you were alive, you remember people were like literally kind of not boycotting, but they was like, we standing up for something. We drawing our line in the sand, and if you not for it, you against it. It was a real time, really weird time, and it was strong stances being made. And these companies felt, okay, if we don't step in this stance, then we're going to lose it. If we don't make a stance and at least act like we playing the game, then we lose a bit of support, or it's a bad time to take advantage. If we act like we playing the game, we could take advantage of this. And it's an appeal to your emotions. I remember in elementary school, you had ethos, pathos, all that. This is an ethos appeal. Ethos appeals means someone appealing to your emotions. And that's exactly what these companies did. Because I want to point out these times. During that time, you had the NBA. The NBA, during this time, the players had literally walked off the court. The players had walked off the court because it was so much racial tension going on. They was like, something must be done. So they stopped playing. They walked off the game. This got people attention. This didn't get people attention. This got those folk attention. It's a 15-minute video. Dang. This got these people. I can't. I just got to get it all out though. This got these people attention. The NBA owners didn't care about inclusion. They don't. These people do not care about equity, inclusion, and diversity unless they use it. Unless they are losing money. NBA players walking off that court saying we not playing unless this get happen. Boom, they came and played, I think, within the same week. But guess what? Now the NBA comes with all these different black things. You put on jerseys, Black Lives Matter. You put on the court, stop racism, end racism. The NFL, it was the same thing. It was so many players speaking out at the time and so many people feeling like something had to be done. The NFL didn't care about racism. The NFL didn't care about diversity. The NFL still doesn't care about any of those things. But at that time, everyone felt they had to have something done or they lose the audience. The audience being us, black people. Let's just be real. That's what they felt. They felt if we appeal to these people right now, we can capitalize on their emotions and keep the money flowing with us. That's simply all it was, right? The NFL then came back with end racism on helmets, Black Lives Matter, all these different racial initiatives to act like, hey, look, we doing something, we care. When it's very hypocritical of the NFL because NFL blackballed Kaepernick for standing for the same things that they claim they stood for. Let me get this right. Kaepernick stood for all of this. You claim you stand for this same thing. The NFL claims they stood for what he stood for, but then he was blackballed for it. And then you even got people, you got black people keep talking about, I don't want to care. I don't care about Kaepernick. He keeps crying. He keep crying when he took the money. He took the deal. What was he supposed to do? When you sue somebody, you sue him for money. He sued the NFL and won. And y'all keep concentrating on the fact that he took the deal. He sued and won, meaning he was right. They were blackballing him. They were excluding him. They were racially, they were discriminating. They were doing all that stuff, colluding against him. He won the suit, and you want to point out the fact that he took the money. He can't say nothing. That's the stupidest thing ever. That's the stupidest thing ever, yo. He sued for money and won. I'm just not even going to go down that hill. Okay, boom. What else am I going to go to? So these things got done and change got done because they started losing money. They realized if we don't do something, these games not going to be played. You know how much money going to come out of these owners' pocket. You know how expensive it's going to be to even open the arena, all that blah, 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 blah. And these people not playing games. Something got to be done. Companies took the same stance. You had Target, Apple, Facebook, Google. Hey, we're gonna help black people. We're gonna offer black jobs. We're gonna do. We're gonna help underprivileged communities. All of this, it was a facade. It was a let's smooth them over. They're gonna forget. Like always. And another point I want to point out. See, I don't like to go back too far in history where the example because it could seem outdated to you. I want to go back right there because a lot of people remember that. We can even go back to the bus boycotts. These people care when they lose money. These people respect nothing but losing money. You have no voice without you have no money. You have no power. And I'm sad to say that that's just how it works right now in 2024. Well, this is 2025. Another example, the bus boycotts. Martin Luther King and all them. Them people got changed, desegregated the bus line for them sitting in the back because they boycotted the bus. They could march all day long, but as long as they was riding that bus and them people were still collecting their fare on that bus, why would they care to change something? I'm still getting paid. It is what it is. When them people boycotted that bus for a year, antennas started going up. They said they was losing $3,000 a day. This was back in 1950s, 40s. So that's a lot of money. When you losing that much a day, something in you, the people, they gonna crack. They saying, all right, man, look, they boycotted for it. They boycotted the bus for a year and got changed. Why were boycotts efficient back then? Because people losing money is the only thing they respect. And that's why I want to talk about My first point is the power that we have as consumers. If we decide, okay, we're not spending money on that until they do this, just like it was during that same time, we will see results. Another example, these people don't care about nothing until they start losing money. The Boston Tea Party. Britain was like, yeah, we hear you. Long as you keep paying that tea, long as you keep buying that tea, and we keep getting that tax, shut up, we good, we gonna keep doing it. It was until them folk went on that boat and threw that tea overboard that they lost their mind. It was until then that they say, okay, hold on. Something got to be done. Why was that significant? Because they lost money. Losing money is the only thing these companies respect. It is the only power that you have against them at this point. Right? So I done talked about the what. I done talked about the who. I done talked about the why. Right? Now, and again, the why. Now I say, how do you combat this? Or I say, what can be done about this? My thing is be intentional about your spend. And why I say be intentional about your spend, because I just told you the power that you have economically to influence your decisions. Another example, to influence political decisions economically. We watched them do away with this DEI. If people would have came out and say, as these companies start doing away with this DEI, Apple, Lowe's, Facebook, if we came out and start saying, okay, we're not going to use these platforms. Okay, we're not going to spend money with these people. And I know it's kind of hard to do because at this point, so much is ingrained in us and it's hard to do, but you got to stand for something. You can't continue to beat Apple door down for an upgrade. You can't continue to beat these companies down for new products and hey, we need it, and be outside and spending all your money with them, and they continue slapping you in your face by saying, yeah, we not about to make this inclusive and equitable for your people. Boom. But we keep giving them our money. And that's a slap in the face, bro. That is a slap in the face. And that is crazy. And you don't look at it like that, but you need to start looking at it like that. We have power. If we have the power to say, okay, we're going to stop spending money with you. And if they lose just a little 10%, I promise you they're going to notice. I promise you they're going to notice. I'm a person that's really into stocks and finance, and I you know what I'm saying? I know how these companies report. I know a 2%, a 5% loss in revenue is enough for their stock to tank. That's enough for some changes to be made. And if people make the conscious decision, okay, they are doing this to us, and we group together, or even the people you know, and say, okay, we're not gonna spend this much money there. They gonna change. I promise you that. You see how quick stuff took place from when George Floyd died to I just told you from 2019 to 2022, DEI rolls grew 168%. And now they did away with them. If you really care about the DEI, when you hired those people in those times, it will still be here because diversity, equity, inclusion. We don't need any less of that. If anything, we need it more than ever now because the world is so divided. But they didn't ever cared about that. They cared about your dollars. And what I'm telling you is we need to be intentional about our spend. Right? Be intentional about your spend. Because the dollar, this is why I said the power you have, we hold power. The NBA, when those players said we're not playing, we hold power. They got stuff done. We can argue whether they got the right stuff done or whether they get anything done at all. It don't matter. They forced them to do something. Now, my thing is, you can force them to do something. We can force them to do something. And this is where, this is another segment. This is the last thing I will talk about. How, like I said, this is not for just black people. This can apply to any minority group. But this is how you invoke change in what we call America today, right? Because even with your voting rights, I just want to tell you this, your voting rights mean nothing. People talk about voting, go vote, go vote, go vote. Okay, cool. You going to vote when those people are doing something called lobbying. What is lobbying? Legal bribery. Something called lobbying gets change done. So this is what happens, right? When you get a political official runs for office and someone donates to their campaign, they give a lot of money to their campaign. Guess what then happens when you start giving a lot of money to their campaign? That official begins to listen to you. Why? Because you're feeding them money to feed his campaign. You're giving them money to run. You then have power to that official. You then get to influence that official votes. You then get to influence the bills he makes. You get to influence the things he pushes for. An example of this, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Elon Musk was given to Donald Trump's campaign. Elon Musk bought Twitter to get Trump back up there. He was donating millions a month to his campaign, and look at where it got him. Elon Musk even paid people money in Pennsylvania to go vote for Trump. What happened when Trump got elected? Elon, everything he wants is going to be golden. He didn't vote his way to power. He lobbied. He lobbied. Money is the only thing this country respects, and I just want you to see it. Now, like I said, we need to be beneficial and intentional. We need to be intentional with our spend, and this is where the needs. This is where, especially for black, like I said, I'm talking for black people right here in this specific thing. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm talking to. Need-based businesses, and it's hard to, like when I say be intentional with your spend, it's hard to be intentional with your spend when we don't own nothing. Especially the root, like manufacturing stuff and needs-based businesses, we do not own. So it's hard to be intentional with your spend. And what I mean by needs-based businesses, nothing is wrong with making a t-shirt line. Nothing is wrong with making a hat line. Nothing is wrong with leisure-based businesses. But the start of a community, or the start of the upliftment, or the start ground zero has to be needs-based. Because what happens when people don't have the extra spend to spend on those leisurely things? What happens even with just those leisurely things, if we, say for instance, we got a t-shirt line, boom. If we got to always buy our t-shirts from not black people, we don't circulate the black dollar. The black dollar is essentially going out the community. If you make needs-based businesses, you then can cut these companies out. Because if we can make all our own stuff, those companies then begin to take a hit. And don't tell me they're not going to notice. I promise you. These people notice. If you ever listen to a quarterly stock earnings call, these people's stock will drop for, if they make 9.7 billion with a B dollars in revenue that year, and the people expected them to make 9.72, the stock drops. These people will notice. If you come out, whatever group, and make a stand, hey, we're not standing for that. We're not going for that. And these people lose money that quarter, they hear you. You know what they do? They didn't fight for you back. They didn't say, okay, you're right. We gonna have to change. You forced them to change. You forced them to change. Oh, black. And I promise you, our dollar, we got the most spending power, but the least amount of wealth. Black people, we got the most. I'm sorry, this video is not as funny as my other one, but this actually kind of pissed me off. It pissed me off because I see so many people crying about TikTok. It's not much comedy. This is just real talk. I see so many people crying about TikTok, and I heard about this DEI, and they slapping me, bro. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. Like I said, needs-based businesses. And people talk about this black capitalism thing doesn't matter. You're right. Black capitalism doesn't work when the black person gets the money and then goes spends it all with white designer brands. Or because you're nothing more than a fundraiser at that point. If you take all the money from your black business and go spend it outside the community, you were a fundraiser. You meant well, but let's analyze what you really did. You really did nothing. This is why you need need-based businesses. Because now you don't have to think, oh, I got to be intentional about black. We have needs-based. We got grocery stores. We got farming. We got manufacturing plants. These are stuff that we're going to buy every day. And this is how we spend you need your everyday essentials are your biggest spend. So if we have our everyday essentials going into our community and we can rotate that, then that money don't go to them. And I know this sounds like a far-fetched. This sounds crazy. Some people may call me whatever. This is a 29-minute video, man. I want to wrap this up. Just hear what I'm saying. I want to leave you with this quote. One of my favorite quotes by Malcolm, right? Malcolm said, getting mad at the man that gives you a job and provide for you. You in his house begging for everything he provides it, and now you are mad that he wants to control everything. You can't do that. Beggars can't be choosy. Beggars don't need to beg. Beggars need to create. We create our own. We take care of our own. And we can make our own decisions. You really can't, because you can't blame this. This sounds so bad, but you can't. If I'm Irish, let's just say if I'm Irish and I make a business, I want to look out for the Irish. You can't be mad at me. You really can't be mad at me for saying I want to hire Irish people. It's not racist. I'm Irish. I want to look out for them. So we can't go to them for jobs that they made and cry to them that we not getting hired. If we make our own jobs, I hope this woke somebody up. 31 minutes. I'm out, man. If you got something to say, I'm not gonna argue with you in them comments, but like I said, I want this to be shared. We could talk. Just give me your perspective. Let me know what you think. Yeah. I think that's it. I'm just reviewing it. I want to hit on anything else. 30 minutes, man. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. That's it.